Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. We have a very special episode of Saturday Morning React-TOONS today because we are watching episode 83 of Robotech entitled Reflex Point. That's right, the grail at the end of Scott Bernard's quest and the rest of our freedom fighters is within our grasp, or so it appears. Friends, before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for some Saturday morning React-TOONS. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now. And now it's time for Reflex Point, the 83rd episode of Robotech. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! Final 3 fanfare! Countdown. Oh boy, friends, Reflex Point. It's been a long time coming, and we have absolutely walked every step of the way with the freedom fighters. I can't believe we're here, and I am super duper. I was just telling Patreon, the last couple episodes of Robotech have been some of the best of the entire series. I mean, they have been stringing some bangers together here for the new generation. Incredibly well done episodes. Incredible character development. I'm not going to give away anything right now, but let's just say that people have asked me what my top, of the 3 sections of Robotech, what's my favorite? Let's just say that all bets are off right now, friends, as but all 3 are fighting for my favorite. But we'll see. The thing to take away from all of it is Robotech rocks no matter what. Especially when it's difficult to figure out which of the 3 you like the most. That's a fool's errand, but that's me. I guess I'll do it anyway. Oh boy, but I cannot wait for this one. Let's see what they have for us, friends.
Reflex Point, the Invid's command center on the Earth.
Look at the size of that damn thing.
Since arriving on this planet, we have put all our efforts into finding the ultimate life form with which to rule the universe. We have now taken the first steps in biogenetically transforming all of our hibernating population into humanoids.
Fantastic.
Has been a small portion of the native population whom we have...
Great Lakes. You all told me that. Good on you all. Wow, we got full units still on the field. This is what happens if the Cyclones were to stand up to them. Obliteration.
Hey! It sounded like an explosion or something.
What?
A battle, Scott?
Yeah, I've been watching it for a while. Looks pretty big.
Oh boy.
Could it be Admiral Hunter?
Spurred on by his belief in Admiral Hunter's return, Scott and his freedom fighters approached the edge of the battle zone.
Remember, we were told that Rick was bringing an invasion force in.
Isn't there something different about those ships?
I'm not sure, but couldn't they be Mecha from Admiral Hunter's group?
Well, Lunk, what do you think we should do about it, huh?
We definitely have to check in here.
Just be careful, Scott. I'll bet you anything you want the Invid are still hanging around somewhere.
Well, if they are, I'm counting on you guys to back me up.
Don't worry.
I mean, what if there's like 3,000 of them, Scott?
But all can see that the destruction is complete, and the chance of survivors is almost 0. Nobody said war was pretty. And respect they deserve.
Oh, Scott.
Scott?
We're too late. I've looked everywhere. No one lived.
The entire force? Is that, or were these like remnants? They were moving on Reflex Point, though.
Hold everything! Don't move! I'm recording this battle for Admiral Hunter's archives.
Are you a member of his group? I'm Lieutenant Commander Scott Bernard, leader of the 21st Squadron. I want to know what has happened to Admiral Hunter.
What is this?
Listen, all of you had better move out of here and fast.
Are you kidding?
Now hold on. Nobody's going anywhere until we get some straight answers out of you.
My name's Sue Graham, Intelligence Department of the 36th Squadron, Jupiter Section.
Sue Graham?
My battalion has been completely blown up. Leave me alone.
Why are you walking off by yourself then?
You mean to tell me you actually photographed the death of your comrades as they were being killed off by the Invid?
If those were her orders.
Were you filming your companions dying instead of giving them assistance?
My assignment is to document this war and get the record off to Admiral Hunter's command group. What am I telling you for? Why don't you mind your own business?
Anyone as heartless as you doesn't even deserve to live.
Gee, Scott, come on.
Listen, let's quit arguing. We've got to do something.
Yeah. Quick, push over your cyclones and run. Just leave them.
What are you talking about?
If they detect the presence of active protoculture, we'll be wiped out.
Ah, look, they're coming! And there's hundreds of them!
Wow.
What makes you think I'm gonna listen to you? Huh?
Rand,
On second thought, we better do what the woman says!
yeah, and just pray to God that they don't realize that they're all okay. Partially transforming was a good idea.
Keep your heads down!
Oh, of course they land right at that area.
Oh no, not the Jeep! Boy, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, a Jeep's been through hell and back.
We have to get this on film so Admiral Hunter can view it and begin to understand them.
Probably should have done that before sending in these troops, but...
The 3rd Attack Unit is in preliminary maneuvers at a base on the far side of the moon. Here's a holographic projection of the site.
Far side of the moon.
The main Robotech force, however, is coming back with a fleet consisting of a new version of the Veritech fighter. These ships have been codenamed Shadow Fighters.
Shadow fighters? That's cool.
You can see by this graphic representation that the protoculture generator has been designed with a 4th-dimensional configuration, making the Shadow Fighter invisible to the Invid.
Oh my God, we need that.
But you've made no effort whatsoever to help them.
It's not her job.
My main job is to send back information.
Well, when is Hunter's attack supposed to begin?
I mean, she'd have been killed if she had joined in the fight.
The whole thing is made up.
Scott,
Jesus, Scott, calm down, bud.
the Invid.
They're moving. This is the eradication protocols. They're looking to kill everybody now, like we saw in Big Apple. They're just moving now.
It must be here somewhere.
Little Robotech Masters clone voice action there.
What could they be looking for? A piece of Robotech mecha or something?
The synchro cannon.
It's a very high-energy weapon utilizing subatomic fusion. It's capable of completely disintegrating its target.
Jesus.
Hey, we could use a cannon like that.
You think?
Is there any way we can find the cannon?
I hid it deep inside a cave about a mile or so on the other side of the clearing.
How much power do we need for that, though?
My motto is to worry only about my assignment. For me, that's the bottom line.
And for me, it's the survival of the people of Earth.
Okay, Scott, okay. Rick sent her to do a job, and this is vitally important.
Scott and the others have taken the opportunity to get some much-needed rest as Lancer keeps watch.
Lancer is always keeping watch because I believe Lancer is the only reliable person to do that.
I wear this pendant to give me inspiration. It's the only thing that gives me strength.
Forget I brought it up. Good night.
How about everybody else around you? They have to be a source of strength as well.
I don't think our supply of food will last much longer either.
We've got to solve this problem, and soon.
The problem's solved.
Okay.
I sure hope this works.
It will.
I'm amazed that you would even listen to that mad woman's ideas.
Can you think of anything better, Lancer?
I don't see her as being that mad, but okay.
That the whole thing is a plan to get some terrific footage of us getting creamed by the Invid.
Don't jump to conclusions.
That must be what she has planned.
The real worry is she's a simul agent like Marlene, but...
It's down there, just where I left it.
That's the synchro cannon, huh? Boy, it sure doesn't look like much of a deadly weapon.
I mean, she's not lying about that.
A moment of truth. Works perfect. Now let's see what this baby's made of.
Oh, it can move. I mean, I assumed it was portable. I didn't realize it was self-propelled.
Just hope this thing's as powerful as she described it. Well, here goes nothing.
Uh-oh, goggles on. It's serious.
Well, bombs away. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself.
Okay, well, why the hell wasn't that in play during the initial assault? It's got to take an incredible amount of energy.
All right, it's time for a new plan, gang. Come on, let's head them off at the pass.
You're going to engage them? There's still a lot of them. I mean, I don't know how many Rand can hit, and then at some point they're going to get out of its firing solution, and they're not stupid.
What are you doing on that cyclone?
I've got to get back to work, Rand.
You're supposed to be helping.
I don't understand why everybody's so pissed at her following orders.
A small squad against a deluge of Invid.
Here we go.
That's cool. Woo! Let's hear it for experience.
Hold them back, then follow me. We'll play their game.
Robert Plant. It's turned Invid.
Nothing but film footage.
I really like her paint scheme for her Cyclone. It's dope. That was... okay. I can think of 1,000 better uses for that cannon other than just, like, engaging in this skirmish. That's an awesome shot. Engaging in this skirmish. That was an incredible asset to have. Woo! Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that is so cool. The nose flipping upside down. Oh, it's so great.
It's a human fighting for the Invid.
Wow, some really cool shots of our mecha.
If he's so human, why would he want to side with the creatures that are trying to destroy the Earth?
Well, when Led Zeppelin broke up, he had very few options as far as employment. Woo! This guy's not bad. Woo! This guy's not waiting for us, so... Over the hills and far away. Oh, they are not fully human then, because he still had the Invid-colored blood. Can we check on Sue?
It seems I've got pictures of an Invid with the body of a human.
Were they worth dying for?
Anybody that bleeds green blood must be Invid. I mean, he looked human, but he didn't react like most humans do.
Oh, wow. Right then.
No.
I love Marlene's storyline. I think it's fantastic.
Marlene.
Say the right thing, Scott.
Marlene,
She's one of you all.
No, wait! Ooh.
Scott, really? Oh, what a bummer in the summer.
And you're just going to have to believe what you see.
You're wrong, Sue, because that woman proves that what a person is made of doesn't determine their spirit or the love they possess.
Then go after her.
Sue! Sue Graham, you were the most dedicated woman I've ever met in my entire military career.
I gave some super shit to you. She got all this incredible information and data for Rick.
On a minor battleground, in a war fought without many rules, one fact remains clear to Scott and his friends. There is no simple truth on which they can rely.
Wow. All right, everybody, we just finished watching the 83rd episode of Robotech entitled Reflex Point, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished Reflex Point, the 83rd episode of Robotech. And also, I think a bit misnamed because, again, this wasn't really necessarily Reflex Point, so to speak, but according to what the narrator gave us in the intro and the summation, we were basically on our way to Reflex Point when we saw that there was either, I'm not sure exactly what this was, like the first wave from Rick, probably more like a scouting or like expeditionary force that was sent out because of Sue's involvement in it. You know, having somebody there to basically capture and record the military assets and strength in the region and the theater that you're going to go into is probably the main. I mean, that recon and the intel was probably the main reason for all of that. And whether or not they got kind of like found out by the Invid because there was just too much of them, too many people together, you know, you can't. That's why the freedom fighters work. They're a small group. It's tough to kind of pin them down. You have a big kind of host like that coming in by Rick, it might have just drawn way too many Invid eyes. However, you had Sue go in there and really give us a bunch of information from Rick and give, you know, essentially Rick the information that he's going to need to, you know, basically construct this assault. I love the idea of those shadow fighters. Oh my God, why couldn't we have gotten some of that tech like 20 episodes ago? But again, super duper cool. It's something that we've talked about the entire time. Man, if there's a way that we could camouflage this proto culture, oh, it would make the world so much easier. I mean, honestly, it would be such a detriment to the Invid if they weren't able to just scan almost like the Predator from the movie Predator, where he could just scan like the jungle and only pick out the heat sources. So it's impossible to hide from him and real easy to spot. But whenever Dutch covered himself in the mud and was able to blend in, it was near impossible. That's what I'm thinking of the entire time, because when we would see the Invid site, it was very Predator-esque. And so if you're able to take that off the table, man, unless they can switch up their kind of like the spectrum that they're looking in, they would be in deep shit because they wouldn't be able to pick out, using their traditional methods, be able to pick out the enemy craft as easily as they had been. Now, I'm sure that they can see in the normal spectrum and stuff like that, but this is definitely something that would hinder them, at least initially. I'm sure they're incredibly intelligent. I'm sure they'd figure out a workaround, but it's that initial destabilization of not being able to see the enemy that would have really worked against, really helped an invasionary force. Which leads me to my next question, like the fighters that came down and we saw fighting like the Cyclones and stuff like that. Obviously, we didn't have any shadow fighters present there, or at least not enough to make a difference. It definitely looked like Veritech's like alphas and betas that we were used to seeing with our group, and the Cyclones and whatnot. But again, we talked about it the entire time. The reason why the Freedom Fighters work is because they do not stand up against, big, hosts of Invid coming at them. They run, they hit and run. And we see exactly what would happen. I mean, we see how much they struggle with like 3 Cyclones versus like 1 Invid. Like it's a matter of like distraction and then getting that perfect shot through the eye. It's tough. It's not easy. And our guys have been doing it for a long time fighting this type of battle. And we see now, as we speculated in the past, if the Cyclones were to stand up against these Invid or multiple units of an Invid, whether it be a team or some type of, battalion coming in, they would be utterly destroyed because the Cyclones just, while awesome and really cool, they don't have the firepower to go toe-to-toe, like 1v1. It's easily 3v1 most of the times, or maybe 2v1 if you're super lucky, with one of these Invids. So we saw that now. We actually saw that put to practice, and the theory confirmed that, the Cyclones just don't have what it takes to stand up against these guys, nor do the Veritechs either, which is obvious. I mean, it's not making some type of bold claim because we know that the Earth was taken, and we've run across fields and fields of destroyed alphas and betas and things like that. So it's like the current tech was not cutting it. Enter the Shadow Fighter. Man, I would love to see that because it seems so cool. And you know what? I really enjoyed the character of Sue Graham for numerous reasons. One, because I thought it was a really interesting thing. She was given orders from Rick, get as much footage as you can. We need to find out weaknesses. It was very smart, very realistic. I thought that, you had somebody in there embedded to do that, to get intel specifically, to see how our unit stood up during combat if that happened to, occur. Really cool character, but also a good delivery system for us to have I guess you could call her a reliable narrator for what was happening with Rick's group. Now we know they're on the other side of the moon. They've got, waves of Veritechs, the Shadow Fighters ready to rock and roll. That's awesome. And I guess, they're just waiting for the information that they need from this force to intelligently plan this assault. And so I'm curious, though, why they named this. I'm all over the place. I'm curious why they named this episode Reflex Point, though, because we're not there. We talked about it. We saw it from space. You all were absolutely right. Not that I ever didn't believe you, but it's right at the Great Lakes, and so, the setup here, I don't know, the road to Reflex Point, almost to Reflex Point. Hey, is that Reflex Point over the hill? But calling it Reflex Point, I thought we were there. I thought this was it. I thought this was like, we hit the bullseye. And then the last 2 episodes would be like, kind of our epilogue or something. But nope, it looks to me like we still have at least one major conflict yet to occur. Now, with all that being said, the introduction of Sue and the outroduction of Sue's character, another great NPC guest star that we've had come in that really strengthened the story, carried us forward, was very memorable. Everything you want from a guest star. Really great. And we've had so many amazing ones in Next Generation. Honest or next generation. God, I always do that. New generation. It's absolutely these. I'm thinking like from Eulogy with Wolf forward. We have had some banger after banger NPCs. Really cool stuff. I have really, really enjoyed the storytelling in this, the third act of Robotech. But let's talk about Marlene. I think that character, for my money, has been done so well. We've had mirrored characters before in Zor, and you can even say Miria. But this idea of being something that this is the best way I think they've done with kind of like that go between the, with Zor, it was between the Masters and us. With Miria, it was between the Zentradi and us. And now with Marlene, it's between the Invid and us. But this is the first time I think that it was done to great effect. Miria basically learned about humanity on a quest for revenge. Zor was out of it too long to really have a lot of like contemplation and understanding going on between his original race, the Masters, and his adopted race, the humans. So there wasn't enough time for introspection. Enter Marlene, because she has been able to kind of bridge that gap and finally here in the end fulfill that promise that was sort of started with Miria and started with Zor, but done to the best effect here at the end. I really enjoy her character. I have really enjoyed the way that they have introduced her, the way that they really, really waited. And we are literally only 2 episodes away. And this was the end of this episode where it was finally revealed, confirmed basically, that she has something to do with the Invid and can understand the Invid because she is essentially one of them. Then faced with like the human pilot that was inside the Invid, our Robert Plant lookalike, again, it all came around at just the right time. It all came around to basically have this reveal when it needed to happen, and we were able to keep Marlene kind of not in the fog or in the dark, but to keep the whole group that way. She was learning. She was starting to understand. She was starting to feel what was going on. But at the same time, the rest of the group wasn't. Like when it was revealed to her that, she was Ariel, she was one of these lost sisters of Sarah and Korg. Lunk was out during that. So Lunk didn't hear any of those revelations. And so that was something she was carrying with her. And then with that final, the cut, and it showed that she was bleeding Invid blood. That was the last straw, which begs the question again, this forced evolution that the Invid seemed to be the driving force for them, isn't total evolution, or transformation maybe is the best word, because they are maintaining at least some part of their physiology because of the color of their blood. They're not, red-blooded humans now. So that's interesting. So that kind of throws the theory of if they were to do this transformation evolution to humans, they wouldn't need protoculture anymore, which I would think would probably be, a great end result for them. They, one of these things that's kind of dictated the course of their lives, having to leave their planet, following Zor after the protoculture. If you rid yourself of that shackle and still maintain the same level of, I guess, power or whatnot that you would have, that would be, you're basically freeing yourself. You're making your entire culture better without protoculture. So I don't know, now that all bets are off if they're not like totally human, they on all likelihood probably still rely on it. It's just an amazing show. I can't wait to see how they wrap it up in only 2 episodes, friends, but I will be here for every second of it as we continue towards the conclusion of Robotech. If you could do me a favor, friends, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for some Saturday morning React-TOONS. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get each of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear friends, all that's then and this is now, and now it's time for us to say goodbye from the freedom fighters here with New Generation. So where should we say goodbye from? Friends, I say, hey, we're part of the group. We don't get a lot of camera time. You don't see us a whole lot, but we're there. We've always been there. And friends, where we say goodbye from is where our group said goodbye from. As Scott and crew watch a fleeing Marlene as she leaves the area to points unknown. And we wonder, should we go after her? Does she want us to go after her? Or is this a quest and journey of realization that only Marlene can take? We have the 2 episodes to figure that out, my friends. Until we watch them, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.